Welcome to Windsor, England, and this, the ultimate travel guide. In this video, I'll show you how to get here, how to get around, where to stay, where to eat, and what there is to do and see in this beautiful English town with a little castle on the hill. Windsor is a gorgeous little town on the River Thames, just outside of London, and is well known for its royal connections and significant history. And of course, it's best known for the little castle up there on the hill. Getting here is relatively easy, and you do have a few options. Windsor is about 12 miles from Heathrow and about 25 miles from central London. You can drive here, which I have done, and I found that whole experience to be a little bit stressful, considering I live in North America and drive on the other side of the road. Of course, you don't have to drive. You can take a bus here from many locations, or you can take a train. Now, I do prefer the train as it's pretty easy, it's affordable, and actually it's very comfortable. We caught the train from London's Paddington station, and it took less than an hour to get here.
So if you do catch the train from Paddington, get to the station early so you can look around. Paddington Station was opened in 1854 and has a cute Paddington Bear statue right in the middle of the station. And if you like quirky and cool, across the street from Paddington Station is one of the most amazing clocks you will ever see. This unique timepiece features a man inside the clock manually adjusting the time. It is really cool. If you arrive in Windsor on the train like we did, take a few minutes to look around the train station, as it's really quite beautiful. The station was originally opened in 1849 and is full of Victorian charm with an elegant glass-roofed arcade. The arcade has shops, cafes, as well as restaurants. You will also walk by a replica of Queen Victoria's royal train.
Like many of these well-known locations, there are a great many options for accommodation in Windsor, from luxury hotels, smaller inns, bed and breakfasts, Airbnbs, and you could even stay in a pub. Not actually in the pub, but in guest suites right above the pub. Once again, there are too many options to mention in this video regarding food, but Windsor has it all, from fancy fare, cafes, bakeries, market food, and of course the tried and true, the traditional English pub.
While here, we ate at the Carpenter's Arms, a beautiful little pub which dates back to the 17th century and is on the corner of Market and Queen Charlotte Streets and only feet away from the castle.
All right, there's a lot to do here in Windsor, and here are the main attractions. Now, if you're coming to Windsor, I think the must-do sight and attraction is Windsor Castle. I mean, it dominates the scenery, so you're going to see it. Now, once upon a time, you could walk around the grounds of Windsor Castle for free, but those days are long gone. If you want to wander around the castle, you can, but you must pay an entrance fee. Mine was £33 as I bought it the day of me being here. You can get a slight reduction. I think it's £30 if you buy online in advance. That does give you access to most of the grounds surrounding and inside the castle, and also access to select buildings and even the chapel. It's important to remember, and you will be reminded, believe me, you cannot take photos or video inside any of the buildings, but you are permitted to take photos and video outside and of the buildings.
Windsor is the oldest and largest inhabited castle in the world and, of course, an official residence of the British monarch. Walking through the grounds of the castle will allow you to see most of the buildings from the outside and a few select interiors. Well, I started the tour in the upper ward at Windsor Castle, and it is a stunning centerpiece of royal history and architecture. Developed by Edward III in the 14th century, it houses the magnificent state apartments, and in fact, you can see inside some of these state apartments on the tour. These state apartments were designed to display, obviously, the monarchy's power and wealth. Charles II transformed the interiors with opulent Baroque designs, which were later enhanced by George IV with Gothic elements. Today, it serves as a venue for important state functions, hosting dignitaries, and of course, royal ceremonies. The middle ward at Windsor Castle is centered around the iconic and oh so obvious and beautiful Round Tower, and serves as an historic link between the upper and lower wards. Dating back to the Norman period, it originally housed defensive structures and essential facilities for the castle's operations. The Round Tower was built by Henry II in the 12th century and was designed for defense and prominence. It was later raised by George IV for aesthetic symmetry and now houses the Royal Archives. The lower ward at Windsor Castle is located below the Round Tower and is steeped in history and religious significance. Established during the castle's Norman origins, the lower ward is home to St. George's Chapel, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture which was built in the 15th century, and you can actually see inside the chapel as part of the tour. The chapel has been the site of royal weddings, funerals, and burials, including for monarchs like Henry VIII and Queen Elizabeth II. The lower ward also features residential quarters for the military knights of Windsor and the Horseshoe Cloister, which was built in 1479 for St. George's Chapel clergy and features a distinctive timber frame design. And this is where you'll actually exit the castle after, of course, spending some time and money in the gift shop.
Another great thing to do is visit the Long Walk, which has perhaps the best views of the castle, as well as the beautiful Windsor Great Park. The park is over 5,000 acres and is a great place to walk and cycle. Nearby Eton College is where the elite of the elite attend school and was founded way back in 1440. You can take guided tours, but you must book well in advance. For more travel videos on Great Britain, please subscribe. One of my favorite things is to walk around and explore a new place on foot. There is so much history to be discovered on the ground that you simply cannot see in any other way. And this is definitely the case here in Windsor. Walking around and through the streets and alleyways uncovers small shops, quaint bakeries, and old historic pubs with many, many stories to tell. Some hidden gems in the Windsor area include the Crooked House of Windsor, Queen Charlotte Street, claimed to be the shortest street in Britain, Frogmore House and Gardens, Windsor and Eden Brewery, and of course the River Thames, where you can take a river cruise or rent a boat for an afternoon on the water. Now, if you want to venture a little bit outside of Windsor, you will find Runnymede, which is where the Magna Carta was signed, Ascot Racecourse, and of course, Legoland. And actually, I did visit Legoland about 10 years ago when my son was quite a bit younger. So there you go, the beautiful royal town of Windsor.